don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to take your time. In the medical space, things go slow. It's okay that you go slow. I mean, I did some roles that were, they weren't that shiny, but I learned so much, and go forward slowly. And be ready for that complexity, because, it won't be quick rewards. It won't be fast. No, it will be rigorous, it will be hard, but in the end, the satisfaction will be amazing. So be ready for that.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Thank you very, very much for joining me. Roee, we're going to have such a fascinating conversation, and I'm genuinely excited to understand a little bit better about the intersection of technology and medicine. You're with a computer science background and an MBA. Today you're with Intuitive Robotics, head of Israel R&D Center, Intuitive Surgical. Apologies. And really this combination of technology, innovation, and robotics and medical, I think it's just such an interesting inflection point, especially around the world of how do you actually get things to production. A lot of times, we say, worst case, we move fast and break things, and we'll deploy to production with bugs. Here, it's a little bit of a different world, especially when we're talking about FDA approvals and actual people's health at stake. Right. And so, Roee, thank you again for joining me here. Even before we dive into all of that, I want to take you back to junior high school, talking a little bit about drama. That's where it all started. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, junior high school, would have thought then that I would go to computer science. I mean, I'm the first. I finished drama in the art school in Tel Aviv. It's quite a famous school, and I was kind of, the first class that finished. Really was very exciting. It was fun. But then I found out, it's a hobby. It's nice. I like doing it, but I'd rather go and study physics or something that I started getting more interested in. But the drama stick. I mean, I can continue to use it. I think almost in my everyday. It helps in work. It helps when you put up a show on a company day out. And I think it's anything that you do helps you on your path forward.
I love that. The reason I'm bringing this out right at the beginning is because I'm a drama kid as well. That was my passion growing up, and so I resonate a lot with what you're saying. In the introduction to technology for you, and the introduction to technology for you and then the intersection of medical. Tell me, how did that progress into that?
Yeah, so my career was not kind of a textbook career. Go to university, get a degree, get a junior job, become a developer. Let's go and step in step. No, didn't start out like that. I finished the army, had to provide myself, went to work, actually worked middle works and construction, and did that for a few years, and really tried, but was really pulled towards computer science and things that I studied in high school, and really looked for that first chance, as everyone did, and I got the chance. It was a medical device company, famous one called Medino, an Israeli success story, and that was my step into the industry, and that was also my school. But I never left the medical space since then. I just, it became a part of me. That's whole of my career going forward. And with that ups and downs, I needed to take the opportunity when I got it. I did a lot of different things, not always software development from the start, but eventually I got the chance and I built a software development team and group there, and from there it worked on.
Let's talk a little bit about the intersection of technology and medical devices or medicine in general. What are the core complexities and core opportunities? And I'll let you decide to start with whichever one you want. No, I'll choose. Let's start with the opportunities. That's more fun. The core opportunities that are with tech and medical.
Yeah, so medicine is so wide, right? I mean, it's so wide. How many different, residencies do you have in medicine? How many different directions can you come at this space? It's so wide. I mean, the opportunities are quite endless. So why aren't there endless solutions out there? That's where it meets the complexity. I mean, it all comes down to the risk, right? And eventually, you want to do something that will help the patient, that will save their life, improve their life, be a tool for the physician. And when you do that, you have risks. Your product, has a failure. It's not some downtime and some revenues down the drain. It's people's lives, and that's why you can't do it in the same way. Can't do it in the same way. You have to take into consideration all risks, and you have to be very, very meticulous in your process. And for that, we have standards, which we work by. And yes, it's a slower process, and it has a lot of barriers. But eventually, something that reaches the market and works, in the hospital, in the physician's hands, is a safe, is a good, is an efficient product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you give me a specific example of something you've been working on that, started from, okay, let's integrate deep technology into this and how it actually, and the process you had to go through in order to reach the market and see it take place on a real patient? I mean, I can only imagine the journey the one must go through for that.
So let's take an example of an algorithm, right? Well, there's a lot of algorithms that can be developed for medicine, and an algorithm is a piece of software that works on some medical imaging, and you can actually sometimes develop it, pretty fast if you have enough data, and you have some good infrastructure. But then what you need to do is you have to have a quality system built. Okay, you can't just have your small algo team do some pipelines and get out an algorithm and get some results. It's not enough. You need to build a quality system according to standards. You need to get audited. You need to have all that in place. And once you have that, then you have the process of validating your algorithm. And it's not enough that it just worked on your training set. So what is your training set made of? Does it have enough hospital sources? Does it only cover Israel, or does it have US data? Or does it have different ages? Does it have different disease types? All of this has to be covered just to be validated. Once you've done that, that's fine. Now you can go and do some clinical trials. It's not over. You've just validated it, but now you need to see it through the field. Clinical trials, you need hospitals to agree. You need investigators. It's very, very costly. And at the end, all this needs to be submitted to the FDA, and that needs to be approved. Then you get re-audited. And then you want to upgrade, and you want to improve your algorithm. So here you go again. And this is why this is really a long process, sometimes in a matter of years. But at the end, when it works, and when you get that feedback from physicians, and I came back just last week from a few customer visits on site, so we're actually in hospitals, in operating rooms, and you're standing there and you're seeing your product work. You talk to the physicians. It's just an amazing feedback. I think it's very different from any other field where you can hear a voice of customer.
That's amazing. And, if we're looking for a second, zoom out, and we'll zoom in soon. Let's zooming out to the different opportunities in general that tech has with medicine in today's world. Where do you think we're going to be seeing, some really amazing advances over the next few years when it comes to the intersection of tech and medical?
So first of all, I think the steps will be small and be slow, and this won't be just these revolutions that will change everything. But let's take, for example, Intuitive as an example. The flagship product, this DaVinci Robotic Surgery system. It's an amazing science fiction system where the surgeon sits at a console comfortably with a 3D view and controls 4 arms of a robot doing surgery. But this is the base. Now, all of this is a digital system. We collect the video that the surgeon is seeing. We have all the events. We have every motion and everything that was done there recorded. Now, that's a platform to do so much. You can give insights to the physician. You can benchmark, global performance. You could let the physician review their procedures, take them to conferences, sit with the patients. The patients get a completely different feedback from the procedure when they can see the video with highlights of where special things, happen. And I think this is kind of the next step where with the systems that are operating and are safe and are very effective, we'll have this additional layer of opportunity just from the data that's being collected.
Yeah, I like that. And so zooming into you as a head of the R&D group here in Israel, what does that actually entail, being the head of the R&D group?
So here in Israel, we're a pretty new group. So just about 2.5 years ago, started out. This group has been building up, and we are part of the digital organization for Intuitive. So we're involved in developing all those digital products that are attached to that robotic system. Those that enable collection of the video, of the data, bringing it up to the cloud, enabling all those analytics, enabling external doctors to proctor into the OR during the procedure, talk to the operating physician, and then also automate all of the flow within the OR, making it easier for the team, saving them time, saving them mistakes, all around that. So that's part of what we're doing and we're focusing on in Israel site.
And you, as a leader of the site, what is sort of your vision, leading the, from a leadership perspective, on the R&D group?
So I think my vision is really building a team that can be a leader in this amazing company. We're working with other teams, but we really want to be those that are taking lead, doing the cutting edge products, and we're getting there. We're building up. We also have research teams that are working on more advanced algorithmic solutions, and really trying to build up this team to be a substantial, having a substantial impact on the company's products, which we still need to prove.
And being a part of a much larger organization, a New York Stock Exchange company, what does that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So Intuitive is a US corporate.
Yeah.
11,000 employees worldwide. It's very large. It's huge, and yet it really kind of still has that kind of smaller company feel. I mean, the CEO is an engineer, is one of the first employees of the company.
Wow.
Okay, the chief digital officer is someone that wrote code inside those robotic systems when they started out. So when you're talking to these people, it doesn't feel like you're talking to a CEO of a large corporate that doesn't really exactly know. He'll ask you questions that you'll be hard to answer, but it's really fun, and the people are amazing, very, very talented, very, very good atmosphere, and really a great company to be in.
So what opportunities is this presenting, being able to lead a group within a larger organization? I mean, a lot of people will talk about perhaps the different challenges that it may present, a large corporate versus a small startup. You've had the chance to experience both in your career with Max QAI and Medinol. What do you now with, by being a part of this large company, what opportunities does this present to you as an R&D leader as you're, trying out different things, your access to the right people? What are the things that you're saying are really meaningful?
Yeah, it opens up so much. I mean, when you're working in a startup, you have your people. It's not a large group. You have the knowledge that they bring, and you always try to get more. You try to meet other people, other startups, maybe meet with some larger companies. You don't probably know that from your startup. So here, these people are right there. I mean, you have groups who have vast experience. They have connections within hospitals. I mean, for this site visit, we just had to contact all those commercial sales reps, and are right there in the hospital. And they know the physicians and they know everyone. They can just take you through that. And that's something amazing that is very hard to reach when you're a startup. But then again, we still have these small development groups. We're not a huge organization. We can develop and move fast, but we have all of this corporate infrastructure that really gives you access to the things that as a startup you sometimes only dream of.
What is your personal vision for your own contribution through your work? If you're looking at the different things that you get to be part of, what is your own vision for your work here?
So my passion, we started with a passion around the medical device and what it does and the impact of the products, and then the technology. But I think my really basic passion is really about people. So for me, my vision is, to take these, young leaders that are now building up these teams and really growing them, really building up the people that we have, to become, just better professionals with that global reach of the company. And for me, that's what gives me satisfaction. That's where I want these people to be.
Yeah. And, if you're the show, really, it's about, asking, why do you do what you do? And I think from the context here, I'm definitely hearing a lot of the potential of the magnitude of impact that you can create through this type of work. If you're zooming into the day-to-day life that you have as a leader, as an engineer, as an innovator, what really gets you going? What really are sort of the highlights of your work?
So I think it's really part of it is those connections with the larger corporate. Because first of all, it's new to me and it's very special at Intuitive. It takes a lot of hard work, maybe late time calls, but when you manage to see something connect between teams around the globe coming together and a solution coming to life that 4 or 5 teams in completely different locations are working together on, that's for me is the highlight of the day. And it's very difficult to get there sometimes.
What is the highlight there? Is it the fact that they're dispersed and they're working together? The fact that there's a multitude of people working together? What really is the highlight there?
Yeah, the fact that we can bring so many different people, diverse people, because you're saying U.S. and Americans, but it's very diverse. There are people from completely different backgrounds. Bringing them to work as one team. That's and seeing that work. That's for me is a highlight.
Nice. And so, to other young entrepreneurs looking to get into tech and medical space, or maybe they are there, what have you learned over your years here that you would pass forward as sort of your own wisdom to other entrepreneurs in this space looking to build great products with this in this type of domain?
Yeah. So first of all, don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to take your time. The medical space things go slow, it's okay that you go slow. I mean, I did some roles that were, they weren't that shiny, but I learned so much. Don't be afraid to take that time. Learn from the bottom, and go forward slowly, and be ready for that complexity, because it won't be quick rewards. It won't be fast. No, it will be rigorous. It will be hard, but in the end, the satisfaction will be amazing. So be ready for that. Be prepared, and it can be done.
I love it. Roee, thank you so much for your time and for your energy. I really appreciate it. Best of luck with everything that you're doing, and make us proud here with the amazing group that you're leading. And thank you again for sharing with me your journey. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.